Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So ever since I posted about this on my Instagram, you have been asking for a tutorial. I actually got the original pattern and design from Soulful Notions here on YouTube, who has a really lovely tutorial. So I have her tutorial linked down below, so you can go and check out her channel. She has some really great ideas. I've just changed mine slightly and I wanted to also incorporate this wooden hoop, so it's slightly different to hers. And this is really great to hang on your wall, and it adds some nice texture and it looks really pretty, and it's also functional. So I like to just keep my design notepad and my iPad in mind so I can always sketch whenever I want and I don't lose it all. But I'm sure it would look lovely with some books or even like remotes or even snacks. It would look good with snacks in it. So to start off, we're going to be taking the 4 lots of 280 centimeter lengths of cord, and we're going to be creating the bit that will go through this hoop. So I'm splitting that in half and I'm taking the middle point and we're going to be making square knots. I'm taking this cord on the right across all of the cords, and then this first cord here on the left will go in front of that cord. It's a little bit difficult because the cords are just so long, but it's easier once you make the first one. So then with that cord going over that cord on the right, we're going to be taking it underneath the middle cords, and then it's going to come behind and through this loop here. Just like that, and that's 1/2 of a square knot. So we're going to take the first cord, so the cord on the left, over the middle 2 and underneath that 4th cord, which is on the right. The 4th cord will go over that one, behind the middle 2, and then it will come through this loop right here. Just like that, and then you can pull that to tighten it and to make it nice and neat. So this is actually the only knot that you'll need to know to complete this project, so it's really easy for beginners. I'm just pulling that to tighten it, and then I'm just going to take it off the table and I'm going to make sure the middle cords are the same length, and if not you can just slide it up or down. And I'm just going to carry on making square knots. I'm going to make 7 square knots in total, but halfway through I'm going to rotate it and start making square knots, adding them onto the other side. Okay, so I've done 4 square knots on this side, and now I'm just going to flip this all around like so, and then I'm just going to create 3 more square knots on this side. So now I'm just grabbing my hoop and I'm going to just push half of it through like so, and you can see it is just the perfect length for the hoop. If you don't want to use the hoop, you could just create the loop like this and obviously not put the hoop through, and then you can hang it via that loop, but I love the look. So now you can decide what direction you want your macrame cord loop to go. So I like to have it going towards the right like this. Now you can take the end 2 cords from either side and just leave them out for the moment, and with the 4 middle cords here we're going to create 1 square knot, and that will just secure the sides together and secure the hoop in place. So now we can go ahead and grab 8 lots of the 220 centimeters, and we're going to split this into 2 groups of 4 and attach them on either side. I'm just taking 1 group of the 4 cords. So I'm just going to start on the right here because it's easier for me to show. So I've got the end 2 cords from the loop, and then I'm grabbing 1 lot of the 220 centimeter cord and I'm folding it in half, and then I'm just taking the midway point and we're going to be creating a square knot. So it's a bit difficult as the 1 cord isn't attached to anything yet, but once you get the hang of it, it will become much easier for you. So there's 1 attached. And then we're going to go ahead and attach the other 3 in the same method. So I'm just taking the 2 outer cords from that square knot we just attached and attaching another cord in the same way, so it will go down at a diagonal angle. And I'm just taking my time as I go, making sure that the knots look nice and neat and uniform. So we're going to continue at that angle and attach the other 2, and then do the exact same on the other side with the 4 leftover cords. So now I have 4 on either side. We can go ahead and grab the 6 lots of 200 centimeters. I'm going to do the exact same, so split it into 2 groups of 3 and attach them on either side using that exact same method, going down at the diagonal angle. So now we've done that, we can just fill the middle with square knots. So that middle square knot there, we're going to split the cords in half. I'm going to take 4 from the left and 4 from the right like that and create 2 square knots just there. And that will be our second row of square knots. Just like that, and now we can go ahead and create the third row. So again, we're just taking another 2 cords and adding them into either side. So you're going to create 3 square knots here, and then on the next row it'll be 4 square knots, and so on. So it's really easy to do, but I would recommend maybe pinning this down to your desk. Normally I would just use my laptop, or I also think it's quite handy to hang this on a door handle and create it that way. That way all the cords are hanging down and they don't get tangled up as much as they are on my desk right now. So you can see it's really easy to do. You just keep adding 2 cords on either side for every row and then creating 1 more square knot. And then we're just going to go until we have filled in this triangle shape and we have a line across there. So now that it's all filled in, you can really see it starting to take shape. We're going to grab the 12 lots of 180 centimeters, and you know the drill by now. We're going to split that into 2 lots of 6 and attach them on either side, still continuing that angle. And then again, I'm just going to fill in this whole middle section with the alternating square knot pattern. Okay, so now that this is filled in, we are going to take the 6 lots of 170 centimeters and again split it in half and attach it at the angle, and then just fill in the middle section. Okay, so now that they have been attached and we've filled everything in, you can bold in the 2 ends now and determine how close together you want them to be. So this will create the pouch part of your wall hanging. So like I'm showing you here, I've added 4 square knots in the middle to give me this size pouch. So if you want a slightly wider pouch, you could add 5, but I like the shape of 4. Now I'm grabbing my 8 lots of 150 centimeter cords, and I'm just grabbing 2, splitting them in half like so. And then we're just going to create a floating square knot, which is a little difficult to do, but once you get the hang of it, it's easy. So again, we're just creating the normal square knot, but it's a bit difficult because it's not attached to anything. So just take your time with this, make sure it's nice and neat. So now I've created 4 square knots in that method. We can now attach it to our work. So I'm just attaching them all to this side on the left here. So I'm going to grab the 2 end cords there, and I'm going to grab one of my floating square knots. And I'm going to grab the 2 outer cords there and then match them together and just create a square knot. So this, instead of going at an angle, is going to go straight across now. And just like that, it's attached. So now we can take the 2 end cords from this new square knot and attach another floating square knot. So we're just going to continue this until we have added all 4 floating square knots. So now all 4 floating square knots have been added, and if I unfold the rest of the work and fold it all together, you can really see the shape start to form now. So I'm just going to close this gap by again taking the end two cords from either square knot and creating a square knot in the middle. Okay, so now that it's all joined together, now is the easy part, but it's very time consuming. You just need to do rows and rows of alternating square knots to fill in the pouch shape. Do as many rows as you want. It's a really great piece to watch Netflix as you make it, because it makes the time go a bit quicker. So we're slowly getting there. I'm slowly filling in the space with alternating rows. And now we have the shape that I want and the length that I want. Obviously feel free to make yours as long or as wide as you want it. So I have made mine from the middle floating square knot section 14 centimeters long. And if I flip it over to the back and measure from the bottom of our loop, it is about 28 centimeters long. And I'm happy with this shape and size. So now it's time to close the bottom so nothing falls out. So for this, we're going to flip this inside out because we want all the knots to be on the inside, so we have a nice, neat looking outside of the pouch. So I'm just splitting all the cords in half here, and I'm going to show you two methods that you can do. One's a very easy method, but in my opinion it doesn't look very good. So I'm just taking two cords from either side and I'm tying them in a knot. You'd obviously do a double knot, but just for the video purpose I'm just tying a single knot. And then you can close it like that, but I don't like it because you can see gaps through it, so I'm just undoing that. I'm going to show you the method that I would recommend. So take two middle cords from one end square knot like so. And make sure they measure the length of your pouch. And then I'm just going to take matching cords from either side and I'm going to tie a square knot around these two middle cords. So I'm just going to create a square knot. And obviously there's a lot more cords on either side than you'll have length for in the middle cords. I'd normally use two cords from either side, make a square knot and then leave out the next two cords. So I'm leaving a few cords out from either side. And just continue this pattern the whole way until you have closed it all up. Now everything is nice and neat and it's all closed up. We can go ahead and trim off all the excess cords. So I like to leave 1 to 2 centimeters on the end of the cord, just so the cords that weren't involved in the last square knot won't unravel or anything. And don't forget to keep all your scrap cords because you can make loads of things with them. I already have a playlist on my channel on things you can make with scrap cords, so I'll either have it linked in the iCard or down below. And now you can just turn your pouch right side out. And you can see it's lovely and neat from the outside and all the hidden cords and the knots are on the inside. And I also think it helps to give the pouch some structure by leaving the cords a bit longer on the inside. And now your pouch is complete and you can just hang it up and use it as you wish. So I really hope you enjoy this tutorial, and if you do make it, please be sure to tag me on Instagram at LunaCraftsOnline. I'd really love to see it and share it. And of course go ahead and check out Soulful Notion's channel, she has lovely tutorials on there. If you could subscribe, like or comment, that would really help me out and make my day. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers and I really cannot believe how quickly this channel is growing, but I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. And I hope you have a lovely week. Bye!